You might be drowning in debt, struggling with a broken relationship, grieving a tremendous loss, or perhaps you simply woke up this morning feeling an overwhelming sense of meaninglessness, wondering, why am I here and where am I going? This feeling of being adrift, detached from hope and direction, is a heavy burden to bear. In those moments when the world feels too big and you feel too small, when your heart is heavy and your mind is restless, the Quran offers not just a temporary fix, but a divine promise. It offers an anchor that holds firm even in the roughest storm. The message we need to recall when we are utterly lost comes from a short, profound chapter of the Quran revealed to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, during one of the most difficult, darkest times of his life. It is the verse that defines the very architecture of hope. It assures us that difficulty is never a final stop, but merely a junction on the road to ease. When you feel lost, remember this verse from the Quran, Surah Ash-Sharh, chapter 94, verses 5 and 6. فَإِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا إِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا. The translation is simple, yet revolutionary. So, verily with the hardship, there is ease. Verily with the hardship, there is ease. This verse is the bedrock of resilience in Islam. It is the divine guarantee that sadness, pain, and confusion do not last forever. They are temporary states designed to test us, refine us, and ultimately lead us back to Allah. To understand the immense comfort of this verse, we must look at its context. The chapter, Surah Ash-Sharh, or the Relief, was revealed at a time when the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was facing relentless opposition, personal rejection, and immense psychological strain. He felt overwhelmed, he felt burdened. In his human experience, he too felt lost in the mission given to him. This surah was sent down directly to soothe his heart and reaffirm that Allah had already prepared the way forward. The verses before this promise mention how Allah expanded his breast, his heart, to handle the enormous pressure. They remind him that the burden that was weighing him down had already been removed. And then comes the dual promise, repeated twice, Inna ma'al usri yusra. Why did Allah repeat it? To solidify the certainty in our hearts. The repetition is for emphasis, like a parent speaking to a frightened child, repeating a truth until the child finally believes it. This is not a casual promise. It is a profound and binding declaration from the Creator of the universe. When you are lost, this repetition is your map and your compass. The most critical word in this entire declaration is the Arabic word ma, which means with. Allah does not say, verily after the hardship there is ease. He says, verily with the hardship. This distinction is crucial for anyone feeling lost right now. It means that the ease is not waiting for you at the end of the tunnel. Rather, the ease is bundled within the difficulty itself. The two conditions, hardship and ease, are concurrent. They are traveling together. What does this mean practically? It means that within the struggle, there is the reward of patience, sabr. Within the confusion, there is the clarity of turning to Allah in desperation. Within the loss, there is the profound realization of what truly matters in life. The ease is found in the spiritual growth, the increased connection to Allah, and the purification of the soul that the difficulty forces upon us. When you feel lost, your soul is seeking direction. The difficulty you are facing is forcing your attention away from the transient distractions of the dunya, this worldly life, and back towards your purpose in the akhirah, the hereafter. This forced realignment, this spiritual awakening, is the ease that exists with the hardship. Furthermore, notice the structure of the Arabic words used. The word for hardship, al-usr, has the definite article al, the, meaning it refers to a specific, limited, and defined hardship. However, the word for ease, yusr, is indefinite. This linguistic feature suggests that the specific hardship you are facing right now is met by an undefined, unlimited, and boundless reservoir of ease from Allah. Your current test is finite. Allah's capacity to bring relief is infinite. If you are feeling lost today, remember that your test is a temporary event defined by a beginning and an end. But the ease that Allah has promised to deliver you is vast and without limits. So, how do we apply this verse when the feeling of being lost overwhelms us? If the verse promises ease with the hardship, we must actively seek out that ease by changing our actions and mindset during the struggle. The first practical application is turning to prayer or salah. When we are lost, we often try to solve our problems using only our finite, limited intelligence. We calculate, we worry, we exhaust ourselves trying to see the invisible future. Allah tells us to abandon those calculations for a few moments and simply stand before Him. Prayer is the ultimate act of surrender that reconnects the GPS of the soul. When you pray, you are verbally declaring your reliance on the one who holds all direction. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, told us that whenever he was distressed or burdened, he would call for prayer, saying, "Relieve us with it, O Bilal." For him, prayer was not a chore, but an instant source of relief and ease woven into the difficulty of his day. The second practical step is embracing sabr, or patience. Patience is often misunderstood as simply waiting passively for things to get better. This is not the Islamic meaning of sabr. True sabr is active. It is perseverance combined with faith. It means remaining steady, continuing to do good, and resisting the urge to despair or commit harmful actions out of frustration, all while deeply believing that Allah is working behind the scenes. When you feel lost, the urge is to give up. Sabr reminds you that giving up is not an option. You continue to seek lawful work, you continue to mend the broken relationship, you continue to pray, and you continue to search for knowledge, all while trusting the promise of ease. The ease comes from the spiritual reward of standing firm. Third, look for the lesson. Difficulty is a filter. It strips away the superficial layers of life and exposes what is truly important. When we are comfortable, we often forget our spiritual dependence on Allah. When we are lost, our hands instinctively rise in supplication or dua. This increased intimacy with the Creator, this genuine pleading, is a beautiful form of ease that hardship unlocks. Take, for instance, the story of the Prophet Yunus, peace be upon him. He felt lost, swallowed by darkness in the belly of the whale. His situation seemed hopeless. Yet it was in that crushing physical difficulty that he made the most profound declaration of Tawheed, calling out to Allah, "There is no deity except you, exalted are you. Indeed, I have been of the wrongdoers." That declaration, made in the absolute darkness of despair, was the key to his release. The ease came from his unwavering realization that even in the darkest, most lost moment, Allah was near. So if you are currently staring into the abyss of confusion, remember that the hardship is defined, but the ease is boundless. Do not allow the specific difficulty of today, the debt, the loneliness, the grief, to block your view of Allah's infinite mercy. The test is a reminder that this world is temporary and that our true home and final rest are in the Akhirah. When you feel lost, take a deep breath and recite this verse. Let it settle in your heart. فَإِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا. Inna ma'al usri yusra. Repeat it until the truth of the promise overrides the noise of your worry. Believe with absolute certainty that your current suffering is the crucible where your faith is being refined, and that the ease, the spiritual relief, the increased reward, the final breakthrough is traveling with you every step of the way.